Hi, hopefully today I have better luck with the video. As I mentioned yesterday, I had recorded a video that was at least 10 times as long a few days ago and only a minute and 35 seconds uploaded. And then yesterday my video had some defect in the code of when it became actually compressed into a video, because when I tried to upload it, it kept being unable to prepare or like consolidate it into a format that was recognized, so I had to lose both of those. So it's not possible for me to get those videos back, and it's not possible for me to know exactly what material I went over that day. Yesterday, I remember it was a drumming practice and also using words, just various words to consciously focus on things we want to let go of or things that we want to bring in. So if you're interested, you're welcome to practice drumming. It would be a few minutes to a song, and without thinking, just making a beat. It could be anything or something like you could come up with a tune and then you do it along with drumming with the song to the beat, like you do it on your thighs, on the table, it doesn't matter. That would be a way to make up for yesterday. And then words you would look at, you would think of actually trigger words you don't like, and like before you drum, you think of all the words you don't like, something like anger, shame, abandonment, rejection, helplessness. And then you would drum, and then afterward you'd say or think of words that you do like, buzzwords, kind of like hope, freedom, peace. And this practice is really interesting in that it's very subtle, but in drumming we release energy, and all those other energies have somewhere to go, and then it clears space for these more subtle emotions that we tend to say we like more, or states of being. So that's the closure for yesterday, and from the other day it's impossible for me to remember at this point what was in that material. So I will share now. With advice from this lady named Dorothy. When I used to visit Ananda Ashram, she was, I believe, in her 90s when I met her. She's still alive as far as I know. And this is her advice. Free me, our prayer should be, free me from jealousy, egoism, lust, anger, and greed. She says, I only have to answer to myself. What others are perceiving is not my business. Their opinions. I need to train my mind as soon as my assumptions start and begin quieting it. She says some tools are like mantras. She gave idea of Om Namah Shivaya, which I really always liked a lot. And it actually comes into Hebrew in an interesting way. Nama kind of means pleasure, and Shiva means sitting or oath or number 7. And like the sitting aspect is both in Sanskrit and Hebrew, this like abiding. And other mantras, or practicing self-love. She taught me about how you could use your beads, not in a religious way, just when something's annoying you, you just start moving the beads, and just little movements that help as soon as the mind starts going off. Or even just saying Om. If you can't say it aloud because people around you can go. She says, I have the whole package. She was telling me, I'm smart, beautiful, and she said, come up with more. So we have to focus on these aspects of yourself that are amazing, not, when our mind is going off. And we say, that's really who I am. So I came up with things like brave, thoughtful, sensitive, innocent, adaptive, flexible, good, pure, insightful, strong, capable, forgiving, and controlled. That's really who I am. She said, there's unlimited psychological simplifying. Make it simple the way it really is. Things like listening to music, taking a shower, doing a meditation. This is all for the mind. She says, don't make up stories. It becomes paranoia. We're also busy with our imagination. She says, use it for reading, or, for reading, writing stories. She tells me that I make space for everyone in a real way. I'm concerned with people's whereabouts. I have a great smile or laugh. I can tolerate and coexist with difficult people. And she says that's why you have to love, love, love yourself. Find a way to see these things in yourself. And it's self-preservation to stay away from the things that upset me. She says when the ego starts acting up, it makes you fall in the same pit every time. Some of the ways it says, I can help, or I know better, and actually it's kind of subversive, subtle. It's kind of under the radar how it gets in that way. She says there's a good way in life to allow things to be and practice acceptance for someone who may be very into, I know better, I can help, is to back off with indifference. Stick with itness. Talking out these things reaffirms them. Self-talk is positive. These stories knock me off the ladder, that there's something wrong with me, that I'm unlovable. And so self-talk that's positive, instead of knocking me off the ladder, like these stories knock me off the ladder, the self-talk that's positive knocks the stories off the ladder. She says, tune into what's going on. There's a natural expression of interaction always happening. And I like to think of that as kind of like, even when someone's criticizing you, they may be coming from love. There could be underlying love in everything, in all communication, if we're willing to look at it. And she says, only be in reciprocal relationships. Do for others what they can't do. When it's too much or I can't relate, it doesn't mean I'm good or bad. It's just built into me. It depends on my current mind state. It varies with or without balance. And I shouldn't resent what I'm doing because, no one's at fault. Hopefully I'll be accepted. That's really what we're all craving, right? And accepting someone for who they are doesn't mean I'm unloved. Doesn't mean I'm unloved or unwanted. And this, she was kind of saying, you have to accept everybody for who they are, and they may not like you. And then you can send the people loving kindness, even the ones who may be difficult for you, because you can accept them in who they are as you learn to accept yourself. Sometimes things don't work, and that's where we need to accept. We don't need to try to figure it out. But also wanting material comfort to know and to be secure and even to arrange our life in a very predictable way doesn't make us good or bad. It just means that we'll always want more, so we should parent ourselves, judge ourselves, equalize, because, pretty much with these material comforts, there won't be enough once we get some. And we could all relate to, good food or money. We all have those areas where it doesn't feel like enough. And I'm going to go into now new stories and agreements that we make. And this was a workshop I did while I was in the Semananda ashram. This is years ago. I used to visit a lot ever since 2015. I went for a silent retreat, and I tried ecstatic dance for the first time and many other things. And, I've gone many times. So I hope you'll like this. It's about stories and agreements we make with ourselves. Because I mentioned stories with Dorothy, so I wanted to go a little deeper into a workshop I did. What are these stories? So stories are agreements we make. And it's not humility or modesty to be degraded or lowered repeatedly and disrespected, because I'm life, I'm alive, I matter, my feelings matter. I'm practicing self-care when I avoid upsetting things. It's not about being a martyr, sharing myself with people who don't meet my communicated needs and boundaries and make me feel bad. Those are agreements I used to not know that I had to still keep doing things even if it didn't feel good. So what are some agreements I'm making with myself? I'm lovable and worthy of attention, care, respect, security, space, privacy, boundaries, preferences, choice, my own identity. I'm naturally capable, strong, and discerning. I'm inherently good, innocent, and pure, and understandable, special, acceptable. Just for who I am, regardless of whether I do for others or help or put them first, I'm simply wonderful, sincere, authentic, and genuine. I hold space for others to work out their stuff, but I'm regularly checking in with my own energy self. And this energy not draining myself with excuses that they need mine more than me. My loyalty is for myself. I don't give myself away for free or sacrifice, because I'm also worthy of commitment, investment, and exchange for mine. And more of that increases my trust, honesty, reliability, accountability, and growth. When I feel naturally worthy of my own self, versus less of it ends up being guilting, shaming, deflection, gaslighting, and validating. Now, what I'm talking about here is how we do this to ourselves first, and obviously we're going to do this to others. So a few ways is healthy only from now on. Forgive when I'm hurt, but don't further tolerate. Enforce boundaries because it's not my business what's going on in others. How I see or feel about myself matters more than others' perceptions. This is a healthy story. Minding my own business. That dissociating is not really living. Dissociating from who I really am. I have to be gentle and appropriate with myself, right? So this is like this idea of the stories. And I'm sort of getting a flashback. I remember what was left in, what didn't go into that video that I left the other day. Perhaps it wasn't meant to be. I just found it. I saw what I had with that video that was shortened. It had a lot to do with numbers and archetypes in the Jewish lineage. It was very interesting, I thought. That's all that I will be sharing with you today. And I wish you a beautiful weekend. I won't be making a video tomorrow because it's a Sabbath. But I will return on Sunday with something along these lines. And I hope that you take care of yourself till then and come up with good stories and agreements for yourself.